Wealth creation and happiness are skills that can be learned. This single idea, it changes everything. Think about it. Most of us spend our life chasing one, hoping it will lead to the other. We are taught to rent our time for money, climbing a ladder, hoping that one day that money will buy us peace and freedom. But what if that entire model is broken? What if the rat race is just a zero status game we are tricked into playing? What if you get the money, the success, the external stuff, and you are still left feeling empty, trapped on a treadmill of desire? There is another path. It's built on the idea that wealth is a deterministic skill, not an accident. And it argues that happiness is the same. It's not something you find, it's a default internal state you can learn to return to. In this video, I'm going to break down a complete framework for mastering both of these skills. By the end, you won't just have a guide to wealth and happiness, you will have a new operating system for your life. But first, you need to understand where this philosophy comes from and why it matters more right now than ever before. This idea comes from one of the most respected entrepreneurs and investors in Silicon Valley. It's a philosophy compiled from years of podcasts, interviews, and essays, all distilled into a single powerful guide. This isn't just a guide on wealth and happiness. It's a guide to learn the skills of wealth and happiness. And this framework, it tackles two of the biggest problems we face. First, the money problem. It's for people stuck onto the input for output treadmill, the 9 to 5, where if you stop working, the money stops coming in. Second, the happiness problem. It tackles that core human challenge of chasing happiness through external success only to be constantly disappointed by the hedonic treadmill. Why does this matter right now? Because in the age of AI, automation and global competition, simply working hard is no longer the answer. We need leverage. And in an age of social media and constant comparison, a new job or a fancy car won't just make you happy. You need a robust internal framework. The core philosophy is that practical real-world action and deep philosophical wisdom aren't opposites. They are two sides of the same coin. I have synthesized this entire philosophy into three-part framework I called the skill stacking framework for wealth and peace. Think of it like building a house. You can't just build a roof, your happiness, on a rotten foundation like a job you hate. You need to build it in stages. The first one is the new leverage. This is the engine of wealth. It's how you build assets that earn while you sleep. It's the combination of finding your unique specific knowledge and scaling it with permissionless tools. Number 2 is the character of wealth. This is the fuel and the license to operate that engine. You can't build wealth without trust. This is about building a reputation through accountability and playing long-term games. And finally, number 3, the happiness skill. This is the entire point of the house. It's learning that happiness isn't something you add, it's something you uncover. It's the skills of achieving internal peace by subtracting desire, envy, and expectations. We are going to break down each of these three concepts with real-world examples and give you exact actionable techniques to apply them to your own life starting today. Let's go into the first one, the new leverage. This is the engine of modern wealth. Its definition is simple. It's a system that disconnects your input, your time, from your output, your wealth. As long as you're renting out your time for money, you can never be free. You stop working, you stop earning. It's about building assets that earns while you sleep. This engine has two key parts. Specific knowledge. This is the unique skill set based on your own inherent talents, your passion, and your curiosity. It's not something you can be trained for in a classroom, because if society trains you for it, it can also train someone else to replace you. The key is that specific knowledge feels like play to you, but looks like work to others. And because it feels like play, you can do it with a level of consistency and obsession that no one competing for a paycheck can ever match. Permissionless leverage. Leverage is just a force multiplier. In the past, the main form of leverage were labor, people working for you, and capital, money. Both requires permission. But today, you have the most powerful democratic form of leverage ever: code and media. Things like blogs, podcasts, videos, and software, they have no marginal cost of replication. You can write one piece of code or record one video that serves 500,000,000 people. You don't need anyone's permission to start. When you combine your specific knowledge with permissionless leverage, you escape competition entirely, because no one can compete with you on being authentic. The internet allows any niche interest at which you are at the best to scale to a global audience. Think about a top podcaster. Their specific knowledge is authentic curiosity and long-form conversation. Their permissionless leverage is the podcast itself. They combine them to build a media empire that works for them 24/7. This is the new leverage in action. So, how do we apply this? Here is the framework. Find your play. Stop looking at what's hot in the job market. Look inward. Ask yourself, what did I do effortlessly as a kid or teenager that no one noticed? What topics do I read about for fun? What do you find yourself explaining to friends? That's the seed of your specific knowledge. Pick your permissionless tool. You don't have to be a programmer. If you can't code, write. If you can't write, record videos. If you can't do that, record a podcast. The key is to start building in public. Use the internet to find a small audience that shares your niche obsession. The pitfall to avoid: don't wait until you are an expert. Document your journey of learning. Adopt the artist mindset. The key is to shift your motivation from being goal-oriented, which creates desperation, to being artistic, doing it for its own sake. The goal is for your business creation to feel like art. This mindset is what allows you to work 16 hours a day on something, because it's not work, it's play. So, you have found your play and you have the tool to scale it. You have built the engine, the first part of our skill stacking framework. But how do you get people to trust you? How do you attract the capital, partners, and the audience that make the engine run? That brings us to the concept 2, the character of wealth. If the new leverage is the engine, the character of wealth is the reputation that fuels it. This is how you build the trust required for people to give you their capital, their labor, and their attention. All significant returns in life, in wealth, relationship, and knowledge came from compound interest. And trust is the asset that compounds the most. This concept has also 2 parts. Accountability. This means embracing high accountability and taking calculated business risk under your own name. It's a double-edged sword. To take the credit when things go well, and you bear the brunt of the failure when they go badly. Because society rewards those who are publicly accountable. People who can fail in public under their own name gain power. Accountability is a prerequisite for credibility, and credibility is what gives you access to leverage. Playing long-term games. There are 2 types of games in life: short-term games, which are zero-sum, that's cutting up the pie, and long-term games, which are positive sum, that is baking the pie. All big returns came from long-term games. When you play long-term games with long-term people, you build a reputation for high integrity. You stop keeping score, and trust building compounding over decades. Imagine someone find a sunken treasure chest through pure blind luck. That's their luck. But you have spent your life becoming the single best, most trusted deep sea diver in the world. Who must that person hire to extract the treasure? You. Their blind luck just became your destiny. This is what's known as luck from character. Your unique high integrity reputation, your character of wealth attract luck to you. Here is how you build the character of wealth. Own your name. This is the fastest way to build accountability. Put your name on your work. Stop hiding behind an anonymous username or a vague corporate brand. Build a personal brand. This signals to the world that you are willing to take the risk and therefore you are worthy of the reward. Find your long-term people. Life is too short for zero-sum relationship. When you find the right people to work with, people with high integrity, invest deeply. Stick with them for decades. And as the saying goes, Stop keeping score. Pay it forward. Engineer your luck. You can't control blind luck, but you can build luck from character. By building a trust, high integrity, and reliable reputation. Be a maker who makes something interesting. The right people will find you. Your reputation will become an engine that attracts opportunity. Okay, so you have built the engine with the new leverage. You have fueled it with the character of wealth. You have built assets. You are making money. But what's the point? If you are wealthy, but you are also anxious, envious, and miserable, you have lost. That's why the final concept is by far the most important one, the happiness skill. Happiness is not about positive thoughts or feeling joyful all the time. Happiness is defined as the absence of desire. It's the default state of peace that is left when you finally remove the sense that something is missing in your life. This matters because happiness is a choice you make and a skill you develop, just like fitness. If happiness is our default state, why are we so bad at it? It's because you are constantly adding things on the top of that piece, obscuring it. Happiness is therefore not a skill of addition, it's a skill of subtraction. Our misery comes from three main sources. First, desire. The idea is desire is the contract you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want. It's the axis of your suffering. Second, envy. This is the poisonous zero-sum emotion that destroys internal peace. Happiness is a single-player game, and comparing yourself to the other is the fastest way to lose. And third, expectations. The number one thing clouding our reality is our preconceived notion of how the world should be. True happiness or peace at rest is the internal silence you feel when you learn to subtract these things. Realization about envy. This person noticed he would get jealous of a little aspect of other people's lives. But when he realized you can't just pick and choose, if you are going to be jealous, you have to do the wholesale for 700% swap with that person. If you have to take their baggage, their fears, their flaws, their family, everything. Since he was perfectly happy being himself, he realized he would never make that trade, and his jealousy faded away. That is the happiness skill in practice. There are three practical techniques to learn the happiness skill. Choose your desire carefully. You can't just have no desire, but you have to be incredibly selective. The advice is to try not to have more than one big desire in your life or in any given time. You can get anything you want as long as it's one thing, and you want it more than anything else. This limits your self-imposed suffering. The three choices framework. In any situation you don't like, you have only three options. Change it, accept it, or leave it. That's it. The fourth option is what most of us do, and what causes all misery is to sit there wishing it will change while not acting or accepting. By forcing yourself to pick one of the three, you reclaim your peace. Master these three skills and you will have a complete system for building wealth and the internal peace to actually enjoy it. This was a lot of information, but the journey starts with one step. Tell me in the comments which of the three skills you are going to focus on first. Is it the new leverage, the character of wealth, or the happiness skill?